Well, businesses are built on comfort foods. And when you're not reliant on that, there's an extraordinary freedom. There's a freedom in intermittent fasting. We know we don't need food all the time. We don't need to be putting something in our mouth or our stomach 24/7. Hello, friends. It's the Carnivore Rabbi. A rabbi is a teacher and source of inspiration, and that's what this channel provides for carnivores of all faiths. Welcome. Let me say at the outset, I agree with Dr. Chafee. Fasting is really not necessary. Carnivore is fasting mimicking. Carnivore does the good for our body in almost the same way fasting does. But I know that fasting itself, for some other reasons, can help many people. In addition, it's ancient. So many traditions and religions and communities have embraced some sort of fasting. In fact, I just completed a Jewish fast day. It's called Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the month of Av. And honestly, I used to be so weary of these fasting holy days, and I would dread them, and they would be painful. Now, it's par for the course. It's almost, it's just another day. Oh, it's a fast holiday? Okay, same as every day. Now, that is empowering, very empowering. Since I've been intermittent fasting pretty seriously now for about 6 months, I wanted to talk about its benefits. A couple of drawbacks too, but really its benefits. First thing, it gets really easy fast. Fasting is one of those things with a big initial barrier. It's hard at first. People dread it. I did. But once you do it several times, it's not hard. Now, I haven't done extended fasts, 3 days, 7 days, 8 days. And honestly, I don't intend to, unless I think there's some sort of benefit that I would get from it. But intermittent fasting has some great benefits. Now, remember, don't jump into it. Because it's such a big initial barrier, work up for it. The first few months I did keto back in 2018, I was still eating breakfast, of course. You can't jump into these things. Let it emerge naturally. Second benefit, do notice some real clarity in the brain, especially after about 18 hours. That to me is a point where you feel a little bit hungry in the body, not always, but a little bit, but the brain is clear. In fact, I've gotten some really good writing and thinking done during that kind of 6-hour window between 18 hours and 24 hours. In fact, I wrote a draft of one of my big sermons for the Jewish holy days, and it was the fastest I've ever written it. It was like one really focused hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and I knocked it out. It's not perfect. Obviously, I've got to make some grammatical changes, but it's in really good form. And I've been a rabbi 18 years. Rarely in 18 years have I ever done that. It was almost, and I wasn't particularly inspired. It was just a real focused clarity of mind. Now, this doesn't happen every day. Of course not. The brain is very complex, but occasionally the stars aligned, and when you are intermittent fasting, you do have extra focus. It's easier and more natural to concentrate. In some ways, you don't have to force yourself to concentrate. It emerges naturally. But number 3, there's an important catch when you're intermittent fasting, especially 24-hour fasts. I have to make sure that I get enough fat. Very important. Occasionally, I've noticed I'm irritable while fasting. Maybe more accurately, my wife notices I'm irritable. Now, in the old days, before keto and carnivore, I would say, I need more sugar. My blood sugar level is low, so I'm in a bad mood. Obviously, we disagree with that approach. But I do connect mood with fat intake. Fat gives us energy, it lifts our mood, and especially if you work out a lot, you need to make sure you're getting enough fat. Now, sometimes I don't get enough fat because for a while I was overdoing fat. I get this 60-40 ground beef, which is fantastic. And when I first got it, I would make sure that I consumed almost all the liquid fat. Even after I would have pour it over and make sure I got all the fat in. that was too much. That was too much fat. And you can tell when it's too much when it comes out of the other side and it's not solid. I think everyone gets the image. So I lowered my fat intake and I found a very happy medium. I still consume a lot of fat, but not at that level. But even occasionally, nothing's perfect. This is not chemistry. We're not scientifically creating our meats. Sometimes I've underdone the fat, especially when traveling, because I don't have as much control over the beef I can get and so forth. This doesn't happen often. In fact, pretty infrequently now. But it's important to monitor, to make sure you're getting enough fat. One tip I have for this is eat carnivore bars. They're great for this. You know the exact fat ratio. It's 80-20. It's a lot of fat. And they're great. I love them. You can also add tallow. If you can only get lean beef, get some tallow and add it on when you're cooking it, or get even butter. Kerrygold butter or raw butter is even better. But make sure you're getting enough fat if you're fasting, intermittent fasting. Another real great benefit, and this is not even health related, is there's a nice feeling of control. Carnivore puts us on a spiritual journey. We don't need food to satisfy us emotionally or spiritually. We can turn to God, a higher power, whatever nourishes us. We don't depend on food. And when you fast, you feel that, you experience that. It's wonderful. The first person to open my eyes to this was actually Dante Ferrigno. He talked about this, I think, in one of his lives. And we all know that food is an emotional crutch for many people. And society encourages that. It encourages us to have comfort foods. Well, businesses are built on comfort foods. And when you're not reliant on that, there's an extraordinary freedom. There's a freedom in intermittent fasting. We know we don't need food all the time. We don't need to be putting something in our mouth or our stomach 24/7. It's a great freedom. So I encourage you to give it a try. And it'll help you not only gain more control, but there's also an appreciation of how beautifully our human bodies are designed. We are designed to get the nourishment we need, but also to function and not be dependent on constantly putting things in our mouth. I wish you all the best. See you next time.